Nothing is perfect, but the movement and the people within it are trying and doing some wonderful things within the community. Every place I see them. Tradition of those in the community, and this interfaith aspect within people getting along, and just. My name is Dr. Peter Cohen. I teach religion at Clemson University. I'm a senior lecturer in the Philosophy and Religion department. I teach predominantly world religions and introduction to the study of religion. The movement here has done a tremendous amount of things communally. I first really got deeply involved when a few of the members at Clemson asked me if I could tell them some ideas to raise money. And I asked them what the event that they were looking to get the money for. And this was getting the dervishes to come to Clemson. They were going to be in Atlanta to perform, but from Konya, to come to Clemson. And this brought an opportunity for people on campus that they would never have in their lives to see, from my perspective, a religious phenomenon in and of itself, to see this Sufi movement, this mystical group, to see another country. The dinners that they put on, the dialogue dinners, are marvelous. The exchange, the dialogues they have, the programming, the films that they show, this willingness to not force anything, not to talk about politics, not to be partisan, not to talk about religion per se, but just to share the culture of their wonderful history. I've learned a great deal about Turkey's history over the years from my travels, and learned something new all of the time. I've been to Turkey 4 times, 3 as a guest of the movement, and a 4th, after my first trip, my wife told me we were going back, and I put a trip together through a company unrelated to the movement. And each time I've gone back, I've seen more. I've had a wonderful time. I felt very safe, very much welcome. So many stories, so many positive stories to tell from tour guides in certain areas being upset because we had plans for dinner and they wanted to host us in their own homes, and genuine, not just, for show. I've also seen many times when I've looked concerned in the marketplace or elsewhere, someone has come up to me and asked me if there's a problem and if they can help in any way. And in one case, I was looking for my wife, and a shopkeeper came up in the middle of the market and asked me if I could help. I said, if you could find my wife. He said, well, I'm looking for one also. I said, no, I need mine. He spotted my walking stick, and he said, was she carrying one of those? I said, yes. He said, I saw her here 5 minutes ago, and he started calling shops on the road where he saw her. And I didn't ask him to do this. It was just clearly just because I didn't tell him I was going to buy anything. There's this openness, this humaneness about the culture that I have not seen in many places. Welcoming the stranger. I go to the biblical stories of how strangers are to be greeted. And I see this in Turkey, making you feel like you're one of the family, thanking you for coming into their homes, giving you gifts, for sharing their home with them. And I can't tell you how many cases I've seen of this happening and seen other people reacting to this that don't expect it. But every time I've been almost anywhere in Turkey, I've gotten the same response from shopkeepers, from restaurateurs, from families that I've eaten with, from people at tourist locations. Just a genuine happiness of sharing their culture and of sharing their home themselves with other people. So much the highlight of the trips there is just seeing a culture that is happy, and happy others want to see them and be part of their culture with them. Well, the first thing I would say to any kind of criticisms of the movement was when I first got involved with them, I had questions, serious questions about whether or not it was real, whether it was propaganda, whether it was too good to be true, the idea of ulterior motives. And over time, I have looked into the movement. I've traveled to Turkey and seen the movement in action. I've seen it over here. I've asked questions of people involved in the movement, people that actually are, and forcing the question, are the backers of the movement, financial backers. And what I would say to these people with questions is ask the questions. I'm a member of the advisory board for the Atlantic Institute in South Carolina. And one of the things that our board has tried to do is get the community to be more, how would you say, transparent. And they've done so. They have welcomed any questions. And I constantly ask questions about things, and I've never been sandbagged, you might think, or otherwise. And rather than accepting criticism that someone has and not understanding, I think it's best for them to ask the questions of the movement itself, go to the source. And there's ample evidence from people involved with the movement that it is real, that it is genuine, as are the people involved with it. But from the very beginning, I had questions. It really did seem too good to be true. And I spend a lot of time with the movement, giving a lot of my time. And I can honestly say that it still seems too good to be true, but nothing has been said or done that proves otherwise, as far as I'm concerned. The meetings that they have with people, the actual contact, one of the problems we have in our culture, without question, is fear of the unknown. And when many from the movement come to organizations, go to churches, go to synagogues, come to classes, they put a face on the Muslim people. It's not something that is distant. It's not something that is foreign. It's a human being that is there in front of them, and first and foremost, a human being that breathes, that has the same feelings that they do, has the same needs that they do, that looks to their religious tradition for the same answers to the same questions that we ask. And when they go out, this opens up again, dialogue. This opens up communication between these organizations, and it's incredibly helpful. I've seen this happen in countless occasions for many different communities, that they will answer the difficult questions. They are not put off. They will answer questions from the news. They will answer religious questions the best they can, but their focus is more on tradition, more on culture, more on the human, more than anything else. And this is what really surprises people the most. They think they're going to come there to challenge them, to question them. And if anything else, they're coming to share what they have, but also learn from the groups that they're going to. It's a two-way street. And when they see that, and when they see that these people, again, going back to the idea of caring, when they see that, it changes. You can see many people relax. Many people start to ask questions that were not comfortable asking questions. Many clergy. I've traveled with clergy to Turkey and saw people immediately soften up to some extent. And again, it's the personal level. One member in particular from the Atlanta area introduces himself. Hi, I'm Muslim. I'm a human being just like you. And he's such a gentle soul. And I guess it really comes down to that. When people see that they're human, that they're gentle, that they're caring, it becomes real to them that they are not the other. And in our culture today, we're so focused on the other and fear that when someone opens up, it's almost strange. And once that moment is bridged, I see them changing things, not overnight in some cases, not completely in some cases. Nothing is perfect, but the movement and the people within it are trying and doing some wonderful things within the community. Every place I see that. I see this openness, this willingness to help as part of the tradition itself of Islam, but also clearly within the Hizmet movement, involving disaster relief, any communities having any difficulties whatsoever, individuals in the community that are having trouble.
My overall opinion is that the Hizmet movement has just been a tremendous force for good and for influencing the spiritual and material well-being and educational well-being of just hundreds of thousands of people all over the world.